100 Civics Questions and Answers in Order 2X. 2008 Version Civics Test, Part 1. Questions 1 to 15. Anne and Mark are seated in their living room, preparing for Mark's upcoming US Citizenship Test. A set of flashcards rests on the coffee table.
Mark, let's go through the first 15 questions from the civics test list. I'll read each question, give you 3 answer options, and you pick the one you think is correct. Then I'll explain why that's the right answer.
Sounds good. Let's get started.
Question 1. What is the name of the national anthem? A. America the Beautiful. B. The Star-Spangled Banner. C. God Bless America.
I think the answer is B. The Star-Spangled Banner.
Correct. The Star-Spangled Banner was written by Francis Scott Key in 1814 during the War of 1812. He wrote it after witnessing the American flag still flying over Fort McHenry after a night of heavy bombardment by British forces. It symbolizes resilience and hope, and it became the national anthem in 1931. Question 2. Who is the governor of your state? A. Answer depends on where you live. B. The president. C. The Speaker of the House.
I think the answer is A. Answer depends on where you live.
That's right. Governors are elected at the state level and are responsible for managing state government operations. For example, they handle state budgets, sign or veto state laws, and oversee state agencies. Question 3. What major event happened on September 11, 2001 in the United States? A. Terrorists attacked the United States. B. The president was impeached. C. The US Constitution was amended.
I think the answer is A. Terrorists attacked the United States.
Correct. On September 11, 2001, terrorists hijacked 4 airplanes. 2 planes crashed into the World Trade Center towers in New York City, 1 into the Pentagon in Virginia, and the 4th crashed in Pennsylvania after passengers fought back. It was a tragic day that significantly impacted U.S. national security policies. Question 4. What did Susan B. Anthony do? A. Fought for women's rights. B. Was the first woman in Congress. C. Signed the Declaration of Independence.
I think the answer is A. Fought for women's rights.
That's correct. Susan B. Anthony was a leader in the women's suffrage movement. She played a key role in advocating for the 19th Amendment, which granted women the right to vote in 1920. Her activism helped pave the way for gender equality in the U.S. Question 5. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? A. Be loyal to the United States. B. Serve as a U.S. Senator. C. Own property in the U.S.
I think the answer is A. Be loyal to the United States.
Correct. When taking the oath of allegiance, new citizens pledge loyalty to the U.S., promise to uphold its Constitution and laws, and, if necessary, defend the country through military or civilian service. Question 6. What is one reason colonists came to America? A. Freedom. B. To avoid taxes. C. To build railroads.
I think the answer is A. Freedom.
That's right. Many colonists came to escape religious persecution, seek economic opportunities, or establish a new life in a land with greater freedom than they had in Europe. Question 7. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president? A. 18 and older. B. 21 and older. C. 16 and older.
I think the answer is A. 18 and older.
Correct. The voting age was set to 18 in 1971 with the passage of the 26th Amendment. This change was partly influenced by the Vietnam War, as young people argued they should be able to vote if they could be drafted. Question 8. Who vetoes bills? A. The President. B. Congress. C. The Supreme Court.
I think the answer is A. The President.
That's correct. The President has the authority to veto or reject bills passed by Congress. However, Congress can override a veto with a 2/3 majority in both the House and the Senate. Question 9. Name one U.S. representative. A. Answer depends on where you live. B. The Vice President. C. The Chief Justice.
I think the answer is A. Answer depends on where you live.
Correct. Representatives are elected to the House from local districts within each state, so your representative depends on where you live. They help create laws and represent their constituents. Question 10. How many U.S. senators are there? A. 50. B. 100. C. 435.
I think the answer is B. 100.
That's right. Each state has 2 senators, regardless of its population, for a total of 100. This system ensures equal representation in the Senate for all states. Question 11. Who is in charge of the executive branch? A. The President. B. The Speaker of the House. C. The Chief Justice.
I think the answer is A. The President.
Correct. The President leads the executive branch, which is responsible for enforcing federal laws, conducting diplomacy, and overseeing the military. Question 12. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? A. J.D. Vance. B. Kamala Harris. C. Mike Pence.
I think the answer is A. J.D. Vance.
That's correct. J.D. Vance is currently serving as Vice President, assisting the President and presiding over the Senate, where he casts tie-breaking votes. Question 13. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States? A. Atlantic Ocean. B. Pacific Ocean. C. Indian Ocean.
I think the answer is A. Atlantic Ocean.
Correct. The Atlantic Ocean stretches along the eastern U.S., connecting it to Europe and Africa. It's vital for trade, travel, and cultural exchanges. Question 14. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? A. U.S. diplomat. B. Inventor of the telephone. C. First Secretary of State.
I think the answer is A. U.S. diplomat.
That's correct. Benjamin Franklin was instrumental in securing French support during the Revolutionary War and is considered one of the founding fathers. He also helped draft the U.S. Constitution. Question 15. What is one state that borders Mexico? A. California. B. Florida. C. Colorado.
I think the answer is A. California.
Correct. California shares a border with Mexico, along with Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. These states play a significant role in trade and cultural exchange between the two countries. Well done, Mark. You nailed these questions. Let's tackle the next set tomorrow.
Thanks, Anne. With your help, I'm feeling more confident already.
100 Civics Questions and Answers in Order 2X. 2008 version Civics Test, Part 2. Questions 16 to 30. Anne and Mark are seated at the dining table again, with a fresh stack of flashcards and notes for Mark's citizenship test preparation.
Ready for part 2, Mark? Today, we'll cover the next 15 questions from the list. I'll read the questions, give you 3 answer options, and you choose the correct one. Then, I'll explain the answer in detail.
Ready when you are, Anne. Let's continue.
Question 16. What is the rule of law? A. Everyone must follow the law. B. Only leaders must follow the law. C. The president is above the law.
I think the answer is A. Everyone must follow the law.
Correct. The rule of law ensures that all individuals, including government officials, are accountable to the law. It's a foundational principle of democracy, preventing abuse of power and ensuring fairness. Question 17. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? A. Freed the slaves. B. Gave women the right to vote. C. Ended World War I.
I think the answer is A. Freed the slaves.
That's right. Issued by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1, 1863, during the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation declared freedom for enslaved people in Confederate states. It was a major step toward ending slavery in the U.S. Question 18. What is the political party of the president now? A. Democratic. B. Republican. C. Independent.
I think the answer is B. Republican.
Correct. The president's political party determines their stance on policies and aligns them with like-minded members of Congress. As of now, the president belongs to the Republican Party. Question 19. What is the highest court in the United States? A. The Supreme Court. B. The Federal Court. C. The Court of Appeals.
I think the answer is A. The Supreme Court.
That's correct. The Supreme Court is the highest judicial authority in the U.S., with 9 justices who interpret the Constitution and decide landmark cases that shape the nation's laws. Question 20. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? A. Woodrow Wilson. B. Franklin Roosevelt. C. Harry Truman.
I think the answer is B. Franklin Roosevelt.
Correct. Franklin D. Roosevelt served as president from 1933 to 1945, leading the country through the Great Depression with programs like the New Deal and through most of World War II, strengthening the nation during tough times. Question 21. What is an amendment? A. A change to the Constitution. B. A preamble to the Constitution. C. A new law passed by Congress.
I think the answer is A. A change to the Constitution.
That's right. Amendments are formal changes or additions to the Constitution. There are currently 27 amendments addressing issues from individual rights to governance procedures. Question 22. What does the President's Cabinet do? A. Advises the President. B. Writes laws. C. Commands the military.
I think the answer is A. Advises the President.
Correct. The President's Cabinet is made up of department heads and key advisors who provide guidance on domestic and foreign policies, ensuring informed decision-making. Question 23. Who was the first president? A. George Washington. B. Abraham Lincoln. C. Thomas Jefferson.
I think the answer is A. George Washington.
Correct. George Washington served as the first president from 1789 to 1797. He set many precedents for the presidency and is often called the father of our country. Question 24. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? A. The United States. B. The President. C. The Congress.
I think the answer is A. The United States.
That's right. The Pledge of Allegiance is a promise to honor and support the United States, its values and its symbols, like the flag, which represents unity and liberty. Question 25. Why does the flag have 50 stars? A. Because there are 50 states. B. Because there were 50 colonies. C. Because there are 50 senators.
I think the answer is A. Because there are 50 states.
Correct. Each star represents one of the 50 states, reflecting the unity of the country as a whole. Question 26. What is the capital of the United States? A. New York City. B. Washington, D.C. C. Philadelphia.
I think the answer is B. Washington, D.C.
That's correct. Washington, D.C. was chosen as the capital in 1790, and it houses important federal institutions like the White House, Congress, and the Supreme Court. Question 27. What is freedom of religion? A. You must choose a religion. B. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion. C. The government decides your religion.
I think the answer is B. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion.
That's right. Freedom of religion ensures that individuals can follow any faith or none at all without interference from the government. It's a fundamental part of the First Amendment. Question 28. What are the two parts of the U.S. Congress? A. The Senate and the House of Representatives. B. The Senate and the Cabinet. C. The House of Representatives and the Supreme Court.
I think the answer is A. The Senate and the House of Representatives.
Correct. Congress is a bicameral legislature. The Senate provides equal representation for all states, while the House represents the population proportionally. Question 29. What does the judicial branch do? A. Reviews laws. B. Makes laws. C. Enforces laws.
I think the answer is A. Reviews laws.
Correct. The judicial branch interprets laws and determines their constitutionality. The Supreme Court plays a central role in this process by reviewing major cases. Question 30. Who was president during World War I? A. Woodrow Wilson. B. Franklin Roosevelt. C. Herbert Hoover.
I think the answer is A. Woodrow Wilson.
That's right. Woodrow Wilson was president from 1913 to 1921. He initially kept the U.S. neutral during World War I, but entered the war in 1917. He also proposed the League of Nations after the war to promote global peace. Great work, Mark. You're halfway through the first 30 questions. Ready for the next batch soon?
Absolutely. Your explanations make it all so much easier to understand. Thanks for helping.
100 Civics Questions and Answers in Order 2X. 2008 Version Civics Test, Part 3. Questions 31 to 45. Anne and Mark are back in the living room, preparing for another round of citizenship test practice. The stack of flashcards is now smaller as they progress through the questions.
Mark, ready for part 3? We'll go over the next 15 questions. I'll read the questions, give you 3 answer options, and you choose the correct one. Then I'll explain the answer in detail.
I'm ready. Let's keep the momentum going.
Question 31. Name one state that borders Canada. A. New York. B. California. C. Texas.
I think the answer is New York.
Correct. New York shares a border with Canada, along with states like Michigan, Washington, and Maine. The U.S.-Canada border is the longest international border in the world. Question 32. What is the economic system in the United States? A. Market economy. B. Command economy. C. Mixed economy.
I think the answer is A. Market economy.
That's correct. The United States has a market economy, which means economic decisions are largely driven by supply and demand. Businesses are privately owned, and individuals are free to make choices about production and consumption. Question 33. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? A. Kevin McCarthy. B. Nancy Pelosi. C. Mike Johnson.
I think the answer is C. Mike Johnson.
Correct. Mike Johnson is the current Speaker of the House. The Speaker is elected by the House of Representatives and is responsible for leading the legislative agenda in Congress. Question 34. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? A. Serve on a jury. B. Obey the law. C. Vote in a federal election.
I think the answer is C. Vote in a federal election.
That's right. Only US citizens have the right to vote in federal elections. This responsibility is essential for participating in the democratic process and shaping the nation's leadership. Question 35. How many amendments does the Constitution have? A. 10, B. 27, C. 33.
I think the answer is B. 27.
Correct. The Constitution has 27 amendments, with the first 10 being the Bill of Rights. These amendments cover a range of topics, from individual freedoms to voting rights and government processes. Question 36. What is the capital of your state? A. Answer depends on where you live. B. Washington, D.C. C. New York City.
I think the answer is A. Answer depends on where you live.
Correct. Each state has its own capital where the state government is based. It's important to know your state capital as part of understanding local governance. Question 37. What is one thing that Abraham Lincoln did? A. Signed the Declaration of Independence. B. Freed the slaves. C. Wrote the Constitution.
I think the answer is B. Freed the slaves.
That's correct. Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation during the Civil War, declaring freedom for enslaved people in Confederate states. He is also credited with preserving the Union during one of its most challenging times. Question 38. What is one of the two longest rivers in the United States? A. Missouri River. B. Mississippi River. C. Colorado River.
I think the answer is B. Mississippi River.
That's right. The Mississippi River is one of the longest rivers in the U.S. and serves as a major waterway for transportation and commerce. The Missouri River is the other longest river. Question 39. Who makes federal laws? A. Congress. B. The President. C. The Supreme Court.
I think the answer is A. Congress.
Correct. Congress, which consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives, creates federal laws. Once a bill passes through both chambers, it goes to the President for approval or veto. Question 40. Why did the colonists fight the British? A. Because of high taxes. B. To gain control of Canada. C. To end slavery.
I think the answer is A. Because of high taxes.
That's correct. Colonists were upset over taxation without representation, where they were taxed by the British Parliament without having a voice in decision-making. This led to the Revolutionary War and the quest for independence. Question 41. Who was the father of our country? A. Abraham Lincoln. B. George Washington. C. Thomas Jefferson.
I think the answer is B. George Washington.
Correct. George Washington earned this title because of his leadership during the Revolutionary War and his role as the first president of the United States. He set many precedents for the office of president. Question 42. What is the name of the President of the United States now? A. Donald Trump. B. Joe Biden. C. Barack Obama.
I think the answer is A. Donald Trump.
That's correct. Donald Trump is currently serving as president. The president is the head of the executive branch and responsible for enforcing laws, leading the military, and representing the U.S. internationally. Question 43. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. A. The Civil War. B. World War II. C. The War of 1812.
I think the answer is B. World War II.
That's right. The U.S. participated in multiple wars during the 1900s, including World War I, World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. World War II, fought from 1939 to 1945, was a defining moment in modern history. Question 44. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? A. The right to vote. B. Speech. C. The right to bear arms.
I think the answer is B. Speech.
Correct. The First Amendment protects freedom of speech, allowing people to express their opinions without government interference. It also guarantees freedoms of religion, press, assembly, and petition. Question 45. What is the supreme law of the land? A. The Declaration of Independence. B. The Constitution. C. The Bill of Rights.
I think the answer is B. The Constitution.
That's correct. The Constitution is the foundation of all U.S. laws and government authority. It establishes the framework for governance and guarantees individual rights. Great job, Mark. You're really nailing these questions.
Thanks, Anne. The detailed explanations really help me understand. Let's keep this going.
100 Civics Questions and Answers in Order 2X. 2008 Version Civics Test, Part 4. Questions 46 to 60. Anne and Mark are seated at the dining table again. Mark looks confident as they prepare to tackle the next set of questions. Anne has her stack of flashcards ready.
Ready for Part 4, Mark? Today, we'll go over the next 15 questions. As always, I'll read the questions, give you 3 answer options, and you pick the correct one. Then, I'll explain the answer in detail.
I'm ready, Anne. Let's keep going.
Question 46. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? A. Europeans. B. Africans. C. Native Americans.
I think the answer is B. Africans.
Correct. Millions of Africans were forcibly taken to America as part of the transatlantic slave trade. They were enslaved and forced to work primarily in agriculture until slavery was abolished after the Civil War. Question 47. What are 2 cabinet-level positions? A. Secretary of State, Chief Justice. B. Attorney General, Vice President. C. Secretary of Defense, Speaker of the House.
I think the answer is B. Attorney General, Vice President.
That's right. The cabinet consists of key advisors to the president, including the vice president and heads of federal departments, such as the Attorney General, who leads the Department of Justice. Question 48. When is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? A. March 15th. B. April 15th. C. May 15th.
I think the answer is B. April 15th.
Correct. April 15th is tax day in the United States, the deadline for filing federal income tax returns. If this date falls on a weekend or holiday, the deadline is extended to the next business day. Question 49. When was the Constitution written? A. 1776. B. 1787. C. 1791.
I think the answer is B. 1787.
That's correct. The Constitution was written in 1787 during the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. It established the framework for the U.S. government and has since been the supreme law of the land. Question 50. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now? A. Answer depends on where you live. B. The Vice President. C. The Speaker of the House.
I think the answer is A. Answer depends on where you live.
That's right. Each state elects 2 senators to represent them in Congress. The names of your state's senators will vary depending on your location. Question 51. How many justices are on the Supreme Court? A. 7. B. 9. C. 12.
I think the answer is B. 9.
Correct. The Supreme Court has 9 justices, including 1 Chief Justice and 8 Associate Justices. This number ensures a diversity of opinions while avoiding ties in decisions. Question 52. What does the Constitution do? A. Declares independence. B. Sets up the government. C. Establishes state laws.
I think the answer is B. Sets up the government.
That's right. The Constitution establishes the structure of the U.S. government, defining the roles of the legislative, executive, and judicial branches, and guarantees individual rights through the Bill of Rights. Question 53. What is one right only for United States citizens? A. Freedom of speech. B. Vote in a federal election. C. Freedom of religion.
I think the answer is B. Vote in a federal election.
Correct. While some rights, like freedom of speech, apply to everyone in the U.S., only citizens have the right to vote in federal elections, such as choosing members of Congress or the President. Question 54. What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful? A. The President. B. Checks and balances. C. The Constitution.
I think the answer is B. Checks and balances.
Correct. The system of checks and balances ensures that each branch, executive, legislative, and judicial, can limit the powers of the others. For example, Congress can pass laws, but the President can veto them, and the courts can rule on their constitutionality. Question 55. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? A. Native Americans. B. Africans. C. Pilgrims.
I think the answer is A. Native Americans.
That's correct. Native Americans, also known as indigenous peoples, lived across the continent for thousands of years before the arrival of European settlers. They had diverse cultures, languages, and societies. Question 56. Who signs bills to become laws? A. The President. B. Congress. C. The Supreme Court.
I think the answer is A. The President.
Correct. Once Congress passes a bill, it goes to the President for approval. If the President signs it, the bill becomes law. If the President vetoes it, Congress can override the veto with a 2/3 vote in both houses. Question 57. What is one power of the federal government? A. To print money. B. To issue driver's licenses. C. To provide schooling.
I think the answer is A. To print money.
That's correct. The federal government has the exclusive power to print and regulate currency, ensuring a unified monetary system across all states. Question 58. When must all men register for the Selective Service? A. At age 18. B. At age 21. C. At age 16.
I think the answer is A. At age 18.
Correct. All male U.S. citizens and immigrants between the ages of 18 and 25 are required to register for the Selective Service. This ensures readiness for a potential military draft, though the draft hasn't been used since 1973. Question 59. Name one U.S. territory. A. Puerto Rico. B. Hawaii. C. Alaska.
I think the answer is A. Puerto Rico.
That's right. Puerto Rico is one of 5 U.S. territories, along with Guam, American Samoa, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and the Northern Mariana Islands. These territories have local governments but are overseen by the U.S. federal government. Question 60. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? A. Because they have more people. B. Because they are larger. C. Because they were part of the original colonies.
I think the answer is A. Because they have more people.
Correct. The number of representatives a state has in the House is based on its population. States with larger populations, like California, have more representatives than smaller states, like Wyoming. Fantastic job, Mark. You're doing really well. Let's review more next time.
Thanks, Anne. Your explanations make everything clear. I feel more confident with each session.
100 Civics Questions and Answers in Order 2X. 2008 Version Civics Test, Part 5. Questions 61 to 75. Anne and Mark are seated in their usual spot, with Mark looking more confident as they tackle the next section of the civics test. Anne has her stack of flashcards in hand, ready to guide him through another set of questions.
All right, Mark. Here we are at Part 5. We're covering the next 15 questions. As always, I'll give you the question and 3 possible answers, and you'll pick the correct one. Then I'll explain the answer. Ready?
Let's do it. I feel like I'm getting the hang of this now.
Question 61. What are 2 national U.S. holidays? A. Thanksgiving, Labor Day. B. New Year's Day, Christmas. C. Independence Day, Valentine's Day.
I think the answer is B. New Year's Day, Christmas.
Correct. New Year's Day on January 1st and Christmas on December 25th are both recognized as national holidays. These are days when government offices and many businesses close to celebrate important traditions and cultural milestones. Question 62. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do? A. Fought for civil rights. B. Became the first African American senator. C. Signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
I think the answer is A. Fought for civil rights.
That's right. Martin Luther King Jr. was a leader in the civil rights movement, advocating for racial equality and justice through nonviolent protest. He is best known for his "I Have a Dream" speech and his role in the Montgomery bus boycott. Question 63. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? A. Kamala Harris. B. Mike Pence. C. J.D. Vance.
I think the answer is C. J.D. Vance.
Correct. J.D. Vance is the current vice president. He assists the president and serves as the president of the Senate, where he casts tie-breaking votes when needed. Question 64. What did the Declaration of Independence do? A. Freed the slaves. B. Announced our independence from Great Britain. C. Established the Constitution.
I think the answer is B. Announced our independence from Great Britain.
Correct. The Declaration of Independence, written in 1776, declared that the American colonies were no longer subject to British rule. It listed grievances against the British king and outlined the colonies' right to self-governance. Question 65. When do we celebrate Independence Day? A. July 4th. B. June 14th. C. December 25th.
I think the answer is A. July 4th.
That's correct. Independence Day, or the 4th of July, commemorates the adoption of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. It's celebrated with fireworks, parades, and patriotic displays. Question 66. Who is the Commander-in-Chief of the military? A. The President. B. The Secretary of Defense. C. The Vice President.
I think the answer is A. The President.
Correct. The President serves as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, overseeing military operations and making key decisions regarding national defense. Question 67. What is the political party of the President now? A. Democratic. B. Republican. C. Independent.
I think the answer is B. Republican.
That's correct. The president belongs to the Republican Party, which influences the administration's policies and priorities. Question 68. What is one of the two longest rivers in the United States? A. Missouri River. B. Colorado River. C. Mississippi River.
I think the answer is C. Mississippi River.
That's right. The Mississippi River is one of the longest rivers in the U.S. and is vital for transportation, commerce, and agriculture. The Missouri River is the other longest river. Question 69. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? A. George Washington. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. Benjamin Franklin.
I think the answer is B. Thomas Jefferson.
Correct. Thomas Jefferson was the primary author of the Declaration of Independence. His eloquent writing articulated the colony's reasons for seeking independence and laid the foundation for American democracy. Question 70. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? A. Preserved the Union. B. Freed the slaves. C. Both of the above.
I think the answer is C. Both of the above.
That's correct. Abraham Lincoln is remembered for leading the U.S. during the Civil War, preserving the Union, and issuing the Emancipation Proclamation, which declared freedom for enslaved people in Confederate states. Question 71. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? A. Kevin McCarthy. B. Mike Johnson. C. Nancy Pelosi.
I think the answer is B. Mike Johnson.
Correct. Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House, responsible for presiding over the House of Representatives and guiding legislative priorities. Question 72. What was one problem that led to the Civil War? A. Taxation without representation. B. Slavery. C. The War of 1812.
I think the answer is B. Slavery.
That's right. Slavery was a central issue that divided the northern and southern states. The conflict over its expansion into new territories and its morality led to the Civil War, which lasted from 1861 to 1865. Question 73. What is the supreme law of the land? A. The Declaration of Independence. B. The Constitution. C. The Bill of Rights.
I think the answer is B. The Constitution.
Correct. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, providing the framework for the U.S. government and protecting the rights of its citizens. Question 74. Why does the flag have 13 stripes? A. Because there were 13 original colonies. B. Because 13 people signed the Constitution. C. Because there are 13 branches of government.
I think the answer is A. Because there were 13 original colonies.
That's right. The 13 stripes on the flag represent the original colonies that declared independence from Great Britain in 1776. Question 75. What is the name of the first president? A. George Washington. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. John Adams.
I think the answer is A. George Washington.
Correct. George Washington was the first president of the United States, serving from 1789 to 1797. He is celebrated as a key figure in establishing the nation's foundations. Excellent work, Mark. You're doing great and really understanding these concepts.
Thanks, Anne. I couldn't have done it without your explanations. Let's keep pushing forward.
100 Civics Questions and Answers in Order 2X. 2008 Version Civics Test, Part 6. Questions 76 to 90. Anne and Mark are seated in their usual spot at the dining table. Mark is feeling confident as they work through the final stretch of the civics test questions.
Mark, this is part 6, the last batch of questions. I'll read the question and give you 3 possible answers, and you'll choose the one you think is correct. Then I'll explain the answer. Ready to finish strong?
Let's do it. I'm ready to bring it home.
Question 76. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? A. Freedom of speech. B. The right to vote. C. The right to bear arms.
I think the answer is A. Freedom of speech.
Correct. The First Amendment protects several key freedoms, including speech, religion, press, assembly, and the right to petition the government. These are foundational to a democratic society. Question 77. What is the capital of your state? A. Answer, depends on where you live. B. Washington, D.C. C. New York City.
I think the answer is A. Answer, depends on where you live.
Correct. Each state has its own capital, where the state government is based. For example, California's capital is Sacramento, and Texas's is Austin. Question 78. What are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? A. Vote, run for office. B. Pay taxes, serve on a jury. C. Protest, join the military.
I think the answer is A. Vote, run for office.
That's right. Voting in elections and running for public office are 2 important ways Americans can contribute to the democratic process and have a voice in government. Question 79. How many voting members are in the House of Representatives? A. 100. B. 435. C. 50.
I think the answer is B. 435.
Correct. The House of Representatives has 435 members, with seats allocated based on the population of each state. This ensures proportional representation for all Americans. Question 80. Who does a U.S. Senator represent? A. All people of the state. B. Only the people in the senator's district. C. Only citizens in the state.
I think the answer is A. All people of the state.
Correct. U.S. senators represent everyone in their state, regardless of whether they are voters, citizens, or permanent residents. Question 81. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? A. He was a U.S. diplomat. B. He was the first president of the United States. C. He invented the telephone.
I think the answer is A. He was a U.S. diplomat.
That's right. Benjamin Franklin was instrumental in securing French support during the American Revolution, which was crucial to the colony's victory over Britain. Question 82. When is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? A. April 15th. B. March 15th. C. May 15th.
I think the answer is A. April 15th.
Correct. April 15th is tax day in the United States. If it falls on a weekend or holiday, the deadline is extended to the next business day. Question 83. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. A. The Civil War. B. World War I. C. The Korean War.
I think the answer is A. The Civil War.
That's correct. The Civil War was fought from 1861 to 1865 between the northern states, the Union, and the southern states, the Confederacy. The main issues were slavery and states' rights. Question 84. What is one branch or part of the government? A. The President. B. The Supreme Court. C. Congress.
I think the answer is A. The President.
That's correct. The President is part of the executive branch, which is responsible for enforcing laws and managing the operations of the federal government. Question 85. What is one thing that Benjamin Franklin is famous for? A. He was a U.S. diplomat. B. He discovered electricity. C. He signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
I think the answer is A. He was a U.S. diplomat.
Correct. Franklin's diplomacy was critical to the success of the American Revolution. He also contributed to the drafting of the Constitution and was an influential inventor and thinker. Question 86. What are two rights in the Declaration of Independence? A. Life, liberty. B. Free speech, the right to vote. C. Education, property.
I think the answer is A. Life, liberty.
Correct. The Declaration of Independence states that all individuals have unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These principles are central to American democracy. Question 87. What does the Constitution do? A. Sets up the government. B. Declares independence. C. Establishes state laws.
I think the answer is A. Sets up the government.
That's right. The Constitution outlines the structure of the federal government, including the roles of the legislative, executive, and judicial branches, and defines the rights of the people. Question 88. Who makes federal laws? A. Congress. B. The President. C. The Supreme Court.
I think the answer is A. Congress.
Correct. Congress, which consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives, is responsible for creating laws that apply across the entire country. Question 89. What is one right only for United States citizens? A. Freedom of religion. B. Freedom of speech. C. Vote in a federal election.
I think the answer is C. Vote in a federal election.
That's correct. Only U.S. citizens can vote in federal elections, such as for the President and members of Congress. Voting is both a right and a responsibility of citizenship. Question 90. What is the name of the national anthem? A. America the Beautiful. B. The Star-Spangled Banner. C. God Bless America.
I think the answer is B. The Star-Spangled Banner.
Correct. Written by Francis Scott Key during the War of 1812, the Star-Spangled Banner became the national anthem in 1931. Its lyrics reflect the resilience and strength of the nation. Well done, Mark. That's it. You've completed all 90 questions. You've worked so hard, and I'm confident you'll do great on your test.
Thanks, Anne. Your help made all the difference. I'm ready to ace this.
100 Civics Questions and Answers in Order 2X. 2008 version Civics Test. Final. Questions 91 to 100 plus 5. Anne and Mark are sitting in their living room, ready to tackle the final round of questions. Mark is excited but focused, determined to master the material with Anne's guidance.
Mark, here we are. The final session. We'll cover the last 10 questions from your list and add 5 new ones that haven't been covered yet. Same routine, question, 3 answer options, your pick, and my explanation. Ready to close this out?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
Question 91. What is one reason colonists came to America? A. Freedom. B. To build railroads. C. To avoid taxes.
I think the answer is A. Freedom.
Correct. Colonists came seeking freedom, especially religious and political freedom. Many also hoped for better economic opportunities and a chance to escape oppression. These ideals shaped the foundation of the United States. Question 92. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? A. Freed the slaves. B. Signed the Declaration of Independence. C. Wrote the Constitution.
I think the answer is A. Freed the slaves.
That's right. Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, declaring freedom for enslaved people in Confederate states. This move was crucial in the fight against slavery and in reshaping the nation's future. Question 93. Who was the first president? A. George Washington. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. Abraham Lincoln.
I think the answer is A. George Washington.
Correct. George Washington, the first U.S. president, served from 1789 to 1797. His leadership helped define the presidency and set traditions, such as forming a cabinet and stepping down after 2 terms. Question 94. What did the Declaration of Independence do? A. Announced our independence from Great Britain. B. Declared the Constitution. C. Ended the Civil War.
I think the answer is A. Announced our independence from Great Britain.
Correct. Adopted on July 4, 1776, the Declaration proclaimed that the colonies were free from British rule. It outlined grievances against the king and the colonies' right to govern themselves. Question 95. How many justices are on the Supreme Court? A. 9. B. 7. C. 12.
I think the answer is A. 9.
That's right. The Supreme Court consists of 9 justices, 1 Chief Justice, and 8 Associate Justices. This structure helps balance decisions and avoid ties in critical cases. Question 96. What was the first state to join the United States? A. Delaware. B. Pennsylvania. C. Virginia.
I think the answer is A. Delaware.
Correct. Delaware became the first state to ratify the Constitution on December 7, 1787, earning it the nickname the First State. Question 97. What does the judicial branch do? A. Reviews laws. B. Enforces laws. C. Makes laws.
I think the answer is A. Reviews laws.
Correct. The judicial branch interprets laws and determines their constitutionality. This ensures that all laws align with the principles set out in the U.S. Constitution. Question 98. How many senators are there? A. 50. B. 100. C. 435.
I think the answer is B. 100.
That's right. Each state elects 2 senators, ensuring equal representation in the Senate, regardless of a state's size or population. Question 99. What are 2 major political parties in the United States? A. Democratic and Republican. B. Green and Libertarian. C. Federalist and Whig.
I think the answer is A. Democratic and Republican.
Correct. The Democratic and Republican parties have been the dominant political parties in the U.S. for over a century, shaping policy and governance across the nation. Question 100. What is one power of the federal government? A. To print money. B. To issue driver's licenses. C. To set up schools.
I think the answer is A. To print money.
Correct. The federal government has the exclusive power to print and regulate the country's currency, ensuring a stable and unified monetary system. Question 101. What is the purpose of the Bill of Rights? A. To establish the judicial system. B. To protect individual rights. C. To set up state governments.
I think the answer is B. To protect individual rights.
That's right. The Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, guarantees fundamental freedoms such as speech, religion, and the right to a fair trial. Question 102. Who is in charge of the executive branch? A. The President. B. The Vice President. C. The Chief Justice.
I think the answer is A. The President.
Correct. The President leads the executive branch, which enforces federal laws, oversees national defense, and manages foreign policy. Question 103. What are 2 rights in the Declaration of Independence? A. Life and liberty. B. Freedom and justice. C. Education and property.
I think the answer is A. Life and liberty.
That's correct. The Declaration of Independence asserts that all individuals have unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, laying the foundation for American democracy. Question 104. What does the President's Cabinet do? A. Advises the President. B. Commands the military. C. Passes laws.
I think the answer is A. Advises the President.
Correct. The President's Cabinet includes the heads of federal departments such as Defense and Education. They provide expertise and advice to help the President make informed decisions. Question 105. Why does the flag have 50 stars? A. Because there are 50 states. B, because there were 50 original colonies. C, because there are 50 senators.
I think the answer is A, because there are 50 states.
That's correct. Each star represents one of the 50 states, symbolizing unity and the nation's structure under the federal system. And that's it, Mark. You've completed all the questions, and your answers were fantastic.
Thanks, Anne. Your explanations made it all so much clearer. I'm feeling confident and ready to ace this test.